Have you ever stared at your B2B sales dashboard, seeing, pretty good traffic, but wondering why those leads aren't really turning into genuine pipeline? It's a challenge, right? It keeps so many B2B sales and marketing teams up at night, generating high quality leads and truly fueling long-term predictable growth. In fact, HubSpot's own state of marketing report highlights this. It says 61% of marketers struggle most with generating traffic and leads. And for B2B organizations, especially those in the SaaS and ERP space, this isn't just about basic brand awareness. It's really about actively driving measurable pipeline growth. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into exactly how one B2B company faced this exact problem and, well, with the right strategy and tools, turned it into a pretty remarkable success story. We'll be looking closely at how SmithDigital partnered with the business advisory services team of RubinBrown, and crucially, what lessons you can take away from their transformation.
Yeah, and this team at RubinBrown, they were dealing with some significant hurdles. We're talking low online visibility, I think fewer than 70 keyword rankings initially, and just really inconsistent inbound performance that, frankly, wasn't feeding their sales team effectively at all. But after putting in place a new integrated strategy powered by HubSpot, their keyword rankings climbed, way up to over 750. They saw something like a 5-fold increase in organic traffic and, importantly, generated a new pipeline valued in the millions. What's truly fascinating here isn't just the raw numbers, impressive as they are, but how they actually built a scalable, repeatable growth engine. It really transformed their whole demand generation process.
Okay, so our mission in this deep dive is really to unpack the strategies that helped RubinBrown scale like that. You'll discover how your B2B team, maybe your SaaS, maybe ERP, can leverage a platform like HubSpot, not just for, basic lead capture, but to generate truly qualified leads, align sales and marketing, and achieve similar sustainable growth. So what's the secret then? How do you move beyond these fragmented efforts to a unified high-performance system? Let's unpack this. So let's maybe start with the core problem itself. Why is scaling B2B lead generation so consistently difficult? Even when you have powerful platforms available like HubSpot, you see it a lot, right? Many B2B teams operate in these frustrating silos, lacking that real strategic alignment between marketing and sales.
Oh, absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this disconnection has incredibly real, tangible costs. It's not just theoretical, especially for, say, SaaS and ERP companies where you often have longer, more complex sales cycles. Without a shared CRM or truly unified marketing tools, it's practically impossible to track lead activity comprehensively, or qualify interest accurately, or even just maintain consistent messaging across all the different touch points. Think about it. Disjointed systems slow down follow-up, right? They create confusion around who owns the lead.
Yeah, that dreaded cold handoff.
Exactly, the cold handoff, and it drastically reduces visibility into the sales funnel. So what happens? Promising leads stall, or worse, they just fall through the cracks completely. And often it's not because of a lack of interest from the lead, but because of a fragmented internal process.
And it's not just about those internal processes either, is it? We've all seen it. These kind of legacy tactics like just blasting cold emails or untargeted campaigns or those static generic forms on a website, they often fail because they completely ignore what modern B2B buyers expect now. Today's buyers, they demand relevance, speed, and increasingly deep personalization. So to generate leads effectively, companies really need to make a fundamental shift, don't they, towards behavior-driven content, intelligent automation, and much more precise segmentation. It's really about meeting your prospect where they are, with exactly what they need when they need it.
Precisely. And this is where a platform like HubSpot can step in as a truly unified solution. It doesn't just centralize lead data, which is important, but it actively bridges that crucial divide by enabling real-time collaboration and information sharing between marketing and sales. It lets B2B teams streamline how leads are captured, how they're nurtured through sometimes very complex journeys, and how they're ultimately converted. The key thing is this ensures both sales and marketing are operating from the exact same data and are aligned on the same strategic goals. So for a SaaS company, for instance, this might mean marketing knows precisely which product features a lead has looked at online before sales even picks up the phone.
Okay, that real-time view and the alignment, that sounds incredibly powerful. But once you have that foundation in place, how do you actually generate the right kinds of leads to fill that pipeline? Because many B2B companies, especially in competitive spaces like SaaS and ERP, are looking for that core differentiator, that strategic advantage. From your experience, what are the most impactful capabilities within HubSpot CRM and Marketing Hub that really drive effective B2B lead generation, particularly for companies dealing with complex solutions or those longer sales cycles?
Yeah, that's a crucial question because you're right. It's not just about having the tools, it's really about how you leverage them strategically. I'd probably highlight 5 key areas where HubSpot CRM and Marketing Hub truly shine for B2B. First, it's the centralized CRM for sales and marketing alignment. And I want to stress this isn't just a database, it's really a shared intelligence hub. HubSpot CRM gives both marketing and sales a real time, kind of 360-degree view of every single lead's journey from that very first touch right through to the closed deal. For RubinBrown, this eliminated those classic gaps and miscommunications that often played handoffs between the teams.
Great.
Sales could instantly see, what marketing content a prospect had engaged with, what pages they visited on the website, even which emails they opened. And this supports much faster, more informed follow-up with marketing qualified leads, MQLs, and sales qualified leads. It just prevents valuable leads from slipping through the cracks. It fundamentally shifts the dynamic from that old throw it over the wall approach to true integrated teamwork.
That real-time insight, yeah, that sounds incredibly powerful for just streamlining that handoff.
Yeah.
But once you have the alignment, how do you actually generate the volume and, crucially, the quality of leads needed to fill that shared pipeline? That's where the power of HubSpot's Marketing Hub really comes into play, isn't it?
Absolutely. You can almost think of it like a finely tuned demand generation machine. The Marketing Hub is just packed with purpose-built tools specifically designed to generate, nurture, and convert leads across every digital channel you might use. You can build high-converting landing pages, you can design compelling calls to action, you can launch sophisticated A/B tests to optimize your conversion paths, and manage all your content for lead gen all from one single dashboard. For a SaaS company, for example, this means you can really rapidly deploy a new landing page for a feature launch, test different value propositions, and instantly see what resonates with your target buyers, all without juggling, 5 different systems.
And building on that point, what about making those interactions smarter and more efficient? I mean, I've seen companies just flood leads with generic emails, which nobody likes.
Mhm.
How does HubSpot move beyond just basic sequences to truly deliver automation that nurtures and scores potential leads effectively, especially in a complex B2B context?
Yeah, that's a critical point because in B2B, especially with high-value offerings like ERP solutions or complex SaaS platforms, generic automation is just, well, it's a conversion killer.
Yeah.
HubSpot workflows allow you to design really sophisticated multi-branching nurture paths. You're not just sending one email after another. You can automate follow-ups, you can assign contacts based on very specific behaviors, and you can personalize email marketing at scale. But I think the real game changer is the built-in lead scoring system.
Yeah.
This allows you to surface truly high-intent leads based on really granular behaviors like specific content downloads, repeat visits to key service or pricing pages, or multiple email opens on high-value offers. For RubinBrown, this meant their sales team wasn't just chasing every single MQL that came in. They were prioritizing leads that HubSpot's system identified as most likely to convert. That saved immense time and really increased sales efficiency.
So it's not just about defining MQLs and SQLs in theory, but actually seeing how those leads progress in a measurable way. And that brings us neatly to lifecycle stages and trigger-based lead conversion.
Yeah.
How do these features help B2B teams tailor their messaging better and ensure that outreach is timely?
Right. This is really where you organize your leads by their readiness. Think of it like a clear roadmap for their buying journey, life cycle stages, subscriber, MQL, SQL, opportunity, customer. They help teams tailor messaging precisely to where that lead is. But the real magic, I think, happens with trigger-based conversion. This means outreach happens when interest in your product or service is highest, not just based on some arbitrary schedule. So, for example, if a prospect from a key target account visits, say, 3 high-value solution pages, and downloads a specific case study, that combination could immediately trigger a notification straight to the sales team. It could automatically change their lifecycle stage to SQL in the system and maybe even personalize the first sales outreach email based on their exact demonstrated interest. It just ensures that sales outreach is always timely and contextual, avoiding those, awkward, cold first calls.
Yeah, nobody likes those. And finally, when you're really thinking about scaling growth long term, you obviously need a platform that grows with you. So what are the tools to support scalable lead generation systems that HubSpot offers?
Well, HubSpot is really designed as an all-in-one platform from the ground up. It provides purpose-built tools and a whole ecosystem of integrations that allow B2B companies to adapt to new lead generation trends and scale what works. So from content creation and sophisticated SEO tools that help you identify those high-intent topics, all the way through to robust CRM dashboards and really granular reporting, It's all integrated. This allows you to track exactly which channels are generating the most potential leads, but maybe more importantly, which ones are actually leading to closed deals. For SaaS and ERP companies that need to constantly refine their go-to-market strategy, this flexibility and data visibility is just invaluable for scaling demand generation sustainably over time.
Okay, so that's the platform and its core capabilities laid out. But beyond just having the tools themselves, how do B2B companies actually apply HubSpot to execute truly successful lead generation strategies? Let's maybe talk about content first.
Right. Content is still king, as they say, but I'd argue strategic content is the entire kingdom. Content marketing combined with smart SEO is genuinely one of the most effective ways to attract those high-quality MQLs, especially for considered purchases. HubSpot's content strategy and SEO tools aren't just for, basic keyword stuffing. They help you identify those high-intent keywords that speak directly to your target audience's specific pain points. For RubinBrown, for example, instead of just targeting general accounting terms, they focused on very specific long-tail compliance questions. Things like ASC 606 revenue recognition for SaaS companies. Really niche.
Very specific, yeah.
Exactly. And organizing these into targeted topic clusters boosted their visibility dramatically. It established them as a credible authority in these niche high-value areas. And this captured highly qualified traffic from buyers who were already deep in their research phase, not just browsing.
That's a fantastic example of getting really specific. So once you've attracted that interest with great content, the next critical step is actually converting that traffic into leads. How does HubSpot help capture leads with smart CTAs, forms, and landing pages effectively?
Right. This is where you move from just attracting anonymous visitors to identifying actual prospects. HubSpot's landing page builder and its form tools offer incredibly flexible ways to generate leads. You're not stuck with just one format. You can deploy things like behavior-based CTAs, pop-ups, and slide-ins that appear based on what a user is actually doing on your site. Maybe after they've scrolled 75% down a pricing page or viewed a certain number of solution articles.
Clever.
Yeah. And even the free version allows you to build really professional grade forms and landing pages. You don't need a huge budget to start.
Yeah.
RubinBrown used this really well. They presented targeted offers like, say, download our guide to ERP implementation challenges, but only to visitors who had already shown clear interest in that specific service area. And that led to much, much higher conversion rates of truly qualified prospects.
Makes sense. And in today's world, it's obviously multi-channel. You need to reach people where they are. How does HubSpot support targeted campaigns across channels?
This is a huge efficiency gain for marketing teams. HubSpot allows B2B marketers to build and manage lead generation campaigns across email, paid ads, social channels, all from that single integrated platform. No more lousing into 5 different ad managers. Marketers can segment lists not just by basic demographics, but by buyer stage and their specific behaviors within HubSpot. This means you can do things like retarget leads who visited your demo page but didn't convert, maybe with a personalized ad or email offer. Or you could nurture a lead who downloaded a white paper with a sequence of emails addressing common objections related to that topic. And you can constantly refine these campaigns through A/B testing and lifecycle segmentation, ensuring your ad spend and your outreach efforts are always optimized for the highest quality leads, not just clicks.
Okay, but this raises a really important question. How do you make sure all these great efforts replied? The content, the CTAs, the campaigns don't just end when someone fills out a form. It seems crucial to align the CRM and the marketing strategy to completely close that loop between marketing generating the lead and sales following up effectively.
Exactly. You've hit on it. This is the cornerstone of sustainable growth, I believe. HubSpot's CRM delivers those real-time insights that directly connect campaign engagement to actual sales action. So you see not just how many leads marketing generated from a campaign, but how many of those became sales opportunities and ultimately how many closed deals. This creates that crucial feedback cycle where performance data from sales directly informs and shapes future marketing strategy. It ensures your efforts are focused squarely on quality, not just volume, and it helps avoid that perennial marketing sales blame game that, let's face it, plagues so many B2B organizations.
Definitely heard that one before. And finally, let's not forget the website itself. It's often the first critical touch point, and it needs to be way more than just a digital brochure these days, right?
Precisely. Your website has to work for you. With HubSpot's lead generation software, you can genuinely turn static websites into high-performing conversion engines. It's about strategically designing your site not just to look good, but to convert visitors into leads. You use high-intent landing pages built around clear, compelling offers. Maybe it's a webinar, a free demo, a tailored consultation. something that encourages action and helps qualify their interest. And you deploy those smart lead flows we talked about, like pop-ups and slide-ins, but triggered based on user behavior to capture attention at the right moment and identify those sales qualified leads who might actually be ready for a conversation. RubinBrown essentially transformed their website from a passive online presence into a vibrant, interactive hub that actively guided prospects toward the information and actions they needed. It fundamentally changed the website's role in their entire sales process.
Okay, let's bring this all together now and return to RubinBrown's business advisory services team. Let's see this whole system in action. Their challenge, as we mentioned earlier, was pretty significant. Really low online visibility, fewer than 100 organic sessions a month, and critically, no structured lead capture process that could consistently feed their sales team with qualified opportunities. They needed more than just eyeballs. They needed a reliable system that could consistently capture and convert high-intent L-list into valuable pipeline.
Right. So SmithDigital came in and deployed a comprehensive full-funnel inbound system built entirely on HubSpot. This wasn't just one tactic, it involved a multi-pronged approach. There was a deep dive into SEO, the creation of highly lead-focused content specifically tailored to their niche service offerings, and layering on sophisticated marketing automation. They didn't just target broad, generic keywords, they really honed in on those specific high-intent terms for their service pages and blog posts like we discussed. Then, they developed optimized landing pages and calls to action specifically designed to capture the demand they were now generating through that improved visibility. Using HubSpot's lead generation software tools, RubinBrown activated those smart lead flows. They set up segmented email nurtures for different buyer personas and industries, and they implemented robust lifecycle tracking so they knew where every lead stood. Their website basically stopped being just a brochure and became a full funnel engine designed for scalable inbound growth.
And the results, especially considering they started from such a low base, were pretty dramatic within just a few months. They really illustrate the power of this integrated approach. First, their organic traffic. It grew from under 100 sections per month to over 500. That's a five-fold increase, demonstrating a huge jump in visibility and relevance to their actual target audience.
A huge jump.
Then, their keyword rankings. They jumped from fewer than 70 ranked keywords to over 750. And again, this wasn't just about volume. It was about increasing their exposure across those high-intent, service-related search terms. They were attracting the right kind of attention.
It's exactly qualified attention.
And perhaps most impressively, the bottom line, their inbound pipeline. It became a predictable source of revenue, valued in the millions, directly supported by a consistent flow of MQLs, SQLs, and those intelligently automated lead nurturing flows. It really transitioned from being maybe a hopeful side project to a core, predictable revenue channel for the business.
Yeah, that transformation didn't just elevate traffic metrics or search visibility, although it did that very well. It fundamentally built a repeatable lead generation system tied directly to measurable sales outcomes. With every lead being captured, scored, and tracked right there in HubSpot CRM, RubinBrown gained the ability to forecast much more confidently. They could align their sales and marketing teams around shared, measurable goals, and crucially, they could scale their demand generation sustainably. I think for any B2B SaaS or ERP firm out there struggling with unpredictable inbound leads, this case study really offers a clear blueprint for how to achieve similar system-driven results.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the listener? I think RubinBrown's story really proved that lead generation software alone, even a great platform like HubSpot, isn't quite enough to solve the B2B pipeline challenge by itself. What truly made the difference was pairing that right platform with a clear, data-driven digital strategy, one that was meticulously focused on integrated SEO, intelligent automation, and that crucial CRM alignment between marketing and sales.
Absolutely. For B2B firms, and I'm thinking especially those in SaaS and ERP, looking to grow inbound consistently without relying solely on, say, referrals or expensive, often one-off campaigns, well, this deep dive shows what's genuinely possible. It shows what happens when you truly learn how a platform like HubSpot can support a scalable, insight-driven growth strategy that ensures measurable, predictable results. It really is about building a system, not just deploying a collection of tools.
Yeah, well said. If your team is still relying on fragmented marketing campaigns or maybe disconnected tools or those frustrating manual handoffs to fill your pipeline, this deep dive really underscores the immense power of implementing a unified, automated system, one that truly scales with your business goals.
And maybe here's a final provocative thought for you to consider. If your current lead generation efforts aren't giving you the predictability or the measurable pipeline growth you really need to hit your revenue targets, How might centralizing your data and truly automating your sales and marketing alignment fundamentally change not just the quantity of your leads, but the quality, the efficiency of your whole process, and ultimately your entire ability to forecast sales accurately?